Whether you want to destroy your friend's base, clear out a large area, or prepare an area for a world eater or a quarry, carpet bombers are really useful, and they're really simple to build as well. Now in this video I'll be showing you how to build them and sort of how they work as well. If you want to see how to build them, then make sure to check the timestamps in the description, and you'll be able to see when I'm starting the tutorial, and you can probably skip to that part. Now before I start the tutorial, I'm going to do a brief explanation of these machines, sort of how they work. Now the first one is very simple. This one's just a simple fly machine and it's attached to a TNT duper. Now this is a special TNT duper as it only uses 9 blocks, which gives it special properties of being able to be attached to a simple fly machine with these extra pistons stuck to it and this extra observer, and it not taking up the full piston push limit. So this allows a very simple carpet bomber, and then the mechanism that allows it to go back and forward is this sort of mechanism, so it's very simple. And when this observer detects the fly machine, it will send a redstone input into this redstone, and this will turn on this repeater. This will give it a little bit of delay, as if you do it too fast the machine will break, so you do have to give a bit of delay, and this will do this infinitely until the player stops it. Now onto the next machine. So now this one is a little bit more complicated than the other one. This is because this TNT duper uses 12 blocks, which is 3 more than the other TNT duper, which means that it requires an extra piston to push it, as you can't stick it to the fly machine, otherwise it goes over the piston push limit, which is 12 blocks. So we've got this setup. So we've got the simple fly machine similar to the other one, but then on the side we've got another sticky piston. Now we have to have this in this orientation, and this is because we need this observer to be on top. Now the observer can also be on the side as well, but it's easier to trigger it from the top, and this observer will power this slime block, and this will power this sticky piston. Now when the slime block is being powered, this sticky piston will be quasi-powered, and it'll need an update. Now if you're wondering what the block update will be, it will be the sticky piston next to it, and this will give this machine the special property of not pulling the TNT duper when it gets to this pod at the very end. Now this is important because when the fly machine is triggered again, this piston is going to have to extend, but then if this fly machine's in the way, this piston can't extend because it goes over the piston push limit. So that's why we've got this sort of setup. Now this side has a very simple, similar to the other one, starting mechanism, and on the other side we've got a different one. Now let me trigger it, and as you can see, a lot of TNT is being duplicated. It's only moving a small space, but still you get tons and tons of TNT with this one. This one's probably my favourite just because of how fast it is. Now this next one is probably not the best one in the world, but it's quite unique, and this is because it uses hardly any slime. It only uses 3 slime balls, but works similar to the first one. So this one's sort of like a peaceful based one that would be good for like peaceful mode and stuff like that. I just designed it because I quite like designing stuff that doesn't use too much slime. It's quite interesting to see if it's possible or not. So if I turn this on, as you can see, it dupes TNT, makes its way back, and then dupes TNT again, and it does this on repeat. Unfortunately it's not that fast, but if you spread it over a longer area it should be a bit better. Now this mechanism on the side is similar to the other ones, except I've just done it a bit differently. So I've got like redstone dust on the side, then the repeaters right here, and that's similar to the other ones. Now this might look much bigger than the other machine that pushes the TNT duper, but it's actually pretty much the same. That's just because you can't send redstone signals through honey. It's quite hard to build one of these fly machines because the setup on top, which uses quasi connectivity, doesn't really work with honey. So I have to be a bit creative and use a full block, and I've got honey which holds it all together. I've had to move this mechanism to the side as well. Now the TNT duper itself I've used is one of the only designs that you can make with honey that you can move back and forwards without it breaking. Most of the other designs with honey will break if you move it backwards or forwards, as it will only work one way. This one can work both ways, and it uses quite a lot of items. Now I've had to move it to the side, and this is to ensure that it doesn't stick to any of the honey. Now the mechanism to send it backwards is quite big. It's not a big deal, it just uses a bit of redstone. Now before you build these carpet bombers, I want to make sure that you're actually able to. So if you play on bedrock edition, this carpet bomber will not work at all. So please do not build this if you're on bedrock edition. Now on some Minecraft servers these don't work as well. If for example you build this machine but then when it starts running the dead core fan breaks, that's because it's a plugin on a server which disables TNT duping, which means that you can't actually build any of these machines. TNT dupers require you to build them very accurately, so making like even one small mistake can mean that they don't work at all. Now please do not comment down below if it works on bedrock edition, because I've already just said that it doesn't work on bedrock edition. Some of my older videos do have a lot of comments asking that, even though I say it a lot in the video. Now the items for the first carpet bomber is in the description below and also in my inventory right here as well. so you can easily see it. Now first we're going to get our dirt blocks. Now I advise stacking upwards. Now if you build this near the ground, your machine's going to be destroyed by TNT, so I advise building it high up. It does matter quite a lot how high you build it, so you don't want to build it too high where you're kind of losing out. Now from some of my testing, I found that the safest location is around 15 blocks. So let's go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So now 15 blocks high. On top of this dirt block, we're going to put a obsidian block down. Now we're then going to get 2 dirt blocks and put it on the side of this obsidian. We're going to go 1, 2. Now break one of the dirt blocks, get an observer and face it into this obsidian. Now break this dirt block and then put some redstone dust on top of this obsidian. Then get a repeater and put it on top of this observer. And put this on 4 ticks. On the side put a lever. And for now you can turn it on. Now go 5 blocks below this observer and place down a dirt block, and this will be where you'll be standing. This will make it slightly easier to place in the TNT duper. Now place into this repeater and place a trapdoor down. Go onto your dirt blocks underneath. Place an observer facing downwards. Under this observer, place a slime block. Get a sticky piston and place it next to this slime block. Put a slime block on the face of this sticky piston. Go around to the side and get your sticky piston and place it next to these slime blocks. Now on top of this flying machine, place some dirt on one of these pistons. Go downwards onto your dirt again and place a observer down facing downwards. So now you'll have your simple flying machine. Go underneath and place some slime blocks down, so we'll get this sort of L shape. Now get a wall and place it on the end of this slime block. Go around to the other side, place a slime block next to this wall. Make sure the slime block is on this side of the flying machine, so it's in line with this part of the flying machine, and also the module where it will be stopping. Get your slime blocks and then make another L shape. Then get your TNT, put it under this wall, and then put a dead core fan next to this TNT. Now I've got our first part done. Now we're going to go to the other side and we're going to make another one of these modules. Now next we're going to be making the point at which our flying machine will be flying back with our TNT duper. So start off by going on top of this observer and recording what Y level you're at. Now this will be important for when we're building our module on the other end. Now then we're going to start building our other modules. So from this observer, I'm going to be going in the same direction in which this TNT duper will be flying in. And that's important because you want your TNT duper to stop. So I'm going to build mine just right here. And mine's going to stop right here. So I'm going to stack up 15 blocks. So now the pillar is in line with our flying machine. So now get your other obsidian and place it down on top of these dirt blocks. Now get your dirt blocks again and place them next to this obsidian. Break the one in the middle and get your observer and face it into this obsidian. You can break this dirt block. Now next we're going to get our redstone dust and place it on top of this obsidian. Then place a repeater on top of this observer and put that on 4 ticks as well. Then where this repeater is, place a trapdoor just on the side of it. Now you can remove these dirt pillars if you want to. Now onto the last step, which is getting your detector rail and then put it on top of this slime block. And then also get a minecart and put it on top of this detector rail, like this. Now to turn this machine on, we're going to get our lever and just flick it. And as you can see, our carpet bomber is working. Now the TNT shouldn't be able to reach it at all from where it is. Now next I'm going to go on to the better carpet bomber and the larger one. The item list is in the description below and also over here too, so you can easily see it. Now we're going to start off with our dirt blocks and we're going to go upwards 15 blocks. Now I found that's the best area in which you should build your machine. I found that any lower and your machine can sometimes get blown up. Now I've pillared up 15 blocks. Now on top of this dirt block I'm going to put some obsidian down. Now next to this obsidian I'm going to put a note block down. This is the area in which I'm going to be carpet bombing, so the TNT duper will be going across in this direction, so that's why I'm putting a note block down. Now on top of this obsidian I'm going to put some redstone dust down, then get your repeater, face it into this redstone dust and put it on 4 ticks. Get an observer and face it outwards from this note block, and face another observer inwards into this repeater. Now where this observer is, we're going to put a sticky piston down, and then get your slime blocks and next to this sticky piston go 2 blocks out with slime blocks. Now get a dirt block and place it on the end slime block. Now we're going to go underneath and around 5 blocks under we're going to make a platform just underneath to make it easier to place in these observers and these slime blocks. Now face an observer downwards from where this dirt block is and just face it down so it's facing into this slime block. Now put a slime block underneath this sticky piston. Now put a sticky piston under this slime block. And then on the other side place another sticky piston down. And now we should have this sort of an arrangement. Now put a dirt block down, and then put a slime block next to this dirt block, so there's like a 1 block gap between this sticky piston and this slime block. Now you can also remove this dirt block just on top of this. Now onto the construction of this TNT duper. So underneath the slime block, place an extra one down. Next to this one, place another slime block, and another slime block. So we've got this sort of squiggly shape. Now for now we're going to be removing this slime block. Now we're going to be temporarily placing a sticky piston right here. So this will be in the gap. Then place a dirt block temporarily next to this sticky piston. And then also your lever there as well. Now next to the sticky piston, place some detector rail down and also a minecart down on top of that detector rail. Now on this side slime, place some walls down and then place some dead coral fans just underneath where this slime block is on the lower one. Get your TNT and place it on next to this slime. Be careful when placing it in, don't place it on this slime, otherwise it will be activated and everything will be bad. Now flick this lever and this will move the minecart and detector rail in place. Now don't do anything except break this piston and then break this lever and then break this dirt block. Now then put the slime block back in its place. And now you've got your TNT duper all primed and ready. Now you can remove all of this dirt as you don't really need it anymore. The next step is to get your lever again and just place it on the end of this obsidian. This will be our on and off switch for this machine. Now next we're going to be building the other side of this carpet bomber. So I'm going to be building my side on this block. Now it has to align with this TNT duper so that they're both horizontal from each other. This is important so that the flying machine will line up with the obsidian. So now we're going to have to stack up the same amount of blocks, so 15 blocks. Now place your obsidian on top of this dirt block. Now get another dirt block and put it on the side of this obsidian. Then get a sticky piston, face it upwards. Then get an observer and face it away from this obsidian. Get a slab and place it on the side of this observer in the direction in which the observer is facing. Get a repeater, place it on top of this slab and then put it on 4 ticks. Now getting some extra dirt blocks might help with this. Face an observer outwards from this repeater. And then get a trapdoor and place it next to this observer. Now remove all these dirt blocks. Now get your last wall and place it under this slime. So the TNT duper looks like this. So you've got a wall on this side for the dead coral fan and a wall on the other side for the dead coral fan. Now to test if your machine works, which I actually already have tested it and it does work, but to test if it works, get your lever and just flick it. And as you can see, the TNT should duplicate and start landing onto the floor. Now this one is very fast, so that's why you can see tons and tons of TNT everywhere. Now I'm not going to be doing a tutorial on this carpet bomber as I don't think it's too useful. Like some people might use it, but I'm not too sure if anyone really will use it. So that's why I'm going to be leaving it a world download and you can go get this carpet bomber if you need it. Now these TNT dupers require pistons and pistons require iron. So if you'd like to build an iron farm to get infinite iron, make sure to click the video on the right.